What's up, everybody? Got another vinyl finds video. Picked up some records at a record show last week, and a few at the record store over the last week. So got a big stack to go through, so we're gonna get to it. Let's do it. Black Pearl from '69. This is some West Coast hard psych, bluesy garage rock. Fantastic album, and that is just a fantastic fucking album cover. This is really good. Kind of a new favorite. Art Garfunkel, Angel Clare from '73. This is really, fantastic copy in the shrink, hype stickers, price tag, and a poster to boot. But it's a good album. Paid $2 for it. Jerry Garcia and JJ Cale play on this, but it's a good record. If you're a fan of Simon and Garfunkel, give this one a shot. It's good. Got a early mono press of Highway 61. Definitely a record I needed. Columbia 2i. Just an iconic record. One of the best records ever put to wax, in my opinion. Just fantastic. Needed a copy of that and finally got one. Pink Flag by Wire. Vinyl Richie showed this on his last video, and saw this. It's a reissue. Saw it yesterday and decided to pull the trigger on it, and man, what a great album. This is fantastic. So thanks Vinyl Rich for recommending this one. That's the label. Yeah, I'm gonna have to scoop up the rest of their late '70s catalog. It's a great band. Captain Beyond, Sufficiently Breathless. Just some of the best stoner rock ever made. This and their first album, you can't go wrong. Paid a little bit of money for this one, but worth it. Been looking for this one for a while and finally scored one. Really good record. Cat Stevens, Tea for the Tillerman. I gotta be honest, I was never a real big Cat Stevens fan, but this album kind of flipped me a little bit. This is a really good record from start to finish. The hits on here, Wild World and Father and Son. But yeah, this is great from start to finish. Really good record. Picked this up for like $2. Manifesto by Roxy Music. '79. This is some dark, druggy disco music from late in their career, and this isn't really a highly regarded Roxy Music, but I really like it. They've definitely got better stuff, but you can get this one cheap. I think I paid $5 for this, but I see it all the time for $3 or $4. So yeah, it's a really good album. Steppenwolf 7 from '70. Another fantastic album cover. Really good album rock on this. Not really any hits, but another cheap album. I think I picked this up for $4. Really good. Picked up City Child by Chris Yulden from '74. This is his second solo album. He was with Savoy Brown for a little while. He quit in '70. He's basically the first incarnation of Savoy Brown, and yeah, just a great British blues vocalist. There's some nice, funky guitar, some wah effects on this album. Some, backup singers thrown in for good measure, and yeah, good album. There's a couple of duds on this. About 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I'm a big Chris Yulden fan, so yeah, I was happy to get that one. Don't see that one too often. Picked up Penguin by Fleetwood Mac, Bob Welch era from '73. This kind of completes my studio albums for Fleetwood Mac. I do need that '69 live album, but this is pretty much the last album I needed, you know, to fill in my Fleetwood Mac collection. But yeah, this is a really good album. Well, the second side's good. The first side's a little boring and phoned in. This isn't really a very highly regarded record by them, but the second side's good. Revelation, really good Bob Welch track. If you can pick this up cheap, $3, $4, $5, it's worth it for that second side. So yeah, not a bad record at all. Picked up Underground by the Electric Prunes, their second album from '67. Pretty good psych rock on the Steamboat Tricolor Reprise label. Got this for a really good price. Yeah. Prunes from '67. Underground. Picked up Journey's first album at the record store the other day. Real cheap, couple bucks. From '75. 70s Columbia label. This is pretty good. There's some really good moments on it. It's again not a perfect album, but there's some really good musicianship on here. Neil Schon kind of shreds on a few of these songs. There's some proggy instrumentals and stuff on here, but really good. Yeah, kind of like that one. In rock, Deep Purple. Picked up a nice copy of this. Cover's kind of beat up, but for $1 at the record show. And I never see this. I was kind of grumbling to myself that I never see this out and about. And lo and behold, I find one for $1. I usually only see reissues for this. I don't see many used copies, so it was awesome to get that for $1. Foghat, their first album, self-titled, from '72. Excellent record on the Bearsville label. These guys broke off from Savoy Brown as well. Lonesome Dave and a couple of the other guys in this band. This is some really good, kind of free. The band Free, I would kind of put this up there with that sound, and this is pretty good front to back. This has got I Just Want to Make Love to You on it, but the rest of it is, I mean, it's up there with that song. It's a really good album, really good drinking album from '72. Picked up Beau Brummel '66. This is an album of covers. Not essential. This is okay. They do the Stones and the Beatles on here. The standout track, though, is probably their version of These Boots Are Made for Walking, the Nancy Sinatra song. They do kind of an ominous, kind of dark sounding version of it. It's pretty cool, but the rest of it, not an essential record, but I do like this band. I want to get Triangle and Bradley's Barn by them, but that one's not essential. Fever Tree's second album from '68. Another Place, Another Time. Listen to this today. This is really good. A lot of hard psych on the first side. They get a little bit more, I guess, wistful on the second side, but that first side is some really cool hard psych. Really good album. If you're familiar with their first one, this one's really good too. So, a group called Smith. This is some good straight up bluesy rock and roll. No psych on this really. this looks to be, it looks a little psyche on the you know, just based on the cover, but it's pretty much some rootsy, bluesy rock and roll. But it's very good. A lot of covers on this, but these, you know, they're very capable interpreters. Really good record. Easy Rider soundtrack, one of my favorite movies of all time. Great soundtrack, good mix of hard rock and psych on this. Smith is also, they do cover of The Weight on this. I guess Capitol Records wouldn't license the song for the soundtrack, so Smith had to come in and do a cover of it for the album, but the band version's in the movie. So just a fantastic movie, good soundtrack, you know, Pusher, Born to Be Wild, Wasn't Born to Follow by the Byrds, If 6 Was 9 by Hendrix, Kyrie Eleison by the Electric Prunes. Just really good soundtrack. Really nice copy, got it really cheap. John Wesley Harding by Dylan from '67. I have a copy of this. It's trash, so I upgraded it to this one. This one's a '70s reissue, but you know, I'd rather have a good '70s reissue than a really trashed first pressing. So that was an upgrade. Live Rust, '79. Just a classic live album. Neil Young, everybody kind of knows that one. Picked that up really cheap. Inner sleeves are still intact, so yeah, it was a really good copy to find. Got a kind of a trashed, well, the jacket's trash, but the vinyl's really good. Wish You Were Here. Inner sleeve is really nice. The vinyl's really good, but yeah, they really trashed that cover. But finally got a really good copy of this. I didn't have this on CD or on vinyl. I used to own it on CD, but my ex, I think, ended up with that one. But got one more. Bongo Fury, Zappa and Captain Beefheart and the Mothers from '75. Some live, this is taken from a couple of live shows. There's a couple of studio tracks on this, but this is some, you know, really good live, raunchy rock and roll. Zappa shreds all over this. Beefheart, you know, weighs in with some spoken word. And yeah, really good album from '75. This was a hole in my Zappa collection, so really happy to get this. And that's about it. Hope everybody had a good weekend. And until next time, we'll see ya.